Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, humans and otherwise, to the greatest game of all, Yerth. Prepare to witness a spectacle of pure embarrassment. We will begin now.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to now the third, I cannot type, the third recorded, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, the third recorded casual series in Yerth, which is the Jimmy versus Larry teams, which again, the teams are randomized just for the sake of having some fun with some casual games and keeping records. As you can see, Larry is now in the lead at 3-2 so far, and obviously, and we are
Let the
off.
suffering begin.
So here on Seeker, we've got Sam, and over here we've got Vincent. Actually, they told me I should stop using their names because their usernames are here. So we've got Rubik's and Peter Griffin. That's what we'll call them. There's some chat things happening. Nobody knows about what's going on there. So the Seekers are on their head start right now. I'm going to be interested to see how many stones that they try to get in the first 5 minutes when the hunters have no real capabilities of tracking them down outside of these radar towers. You can see one over there, the red tower. There's 4 of those radar towers which the hunters can activate, and it detects when a seeker is within their radius. We can see Rubik's has gotten the city stone. That's not too bad for a first stone. Oh, I'm supposed to go fix something. Okay. This backup has some issues on it, and Sam is really lazy and dumb, so he hasn't fixed those. He hasn't made new backups yet. But I'm really cool and awesome, and I've already fixed all the problems. He just refuses to make new backups. So unfortunately, I'm sorry for that. Okay, that is sorted out. All right, let's check on the hunters' positions. I need to go back to spectator. I keep typoing. That was Vincent, right? Yep. Okay, so to clarify how the scoring works. Oh, and Zach's cursed tablet was taken. That was Spiral here. Yep, he's coming out. So the cursed tablets, we might see those activated later. That's really good power. That's really good power-ups that the hunters can unlock later in the game. We'll potentially see that happen. Sam has taken the jump boost potion out of that market, so we'll see if he uses that to get an advanced key in this breakfast platter. I think it's an advanced key. Probably in that chest. Yep. We'll see if he uses it for that. But for now, he's going down. So we see the 2 different approaches here. Sam is taking the
You have unlocked the Dwarven King's power of being short.
quick note. That's what called a throne. We have multiple thrones. That one gives you. I keep getting it mixed up now. This one gives you strength. Until a hunter steps on it or another seeker steps on it to take the effect. So Sam's going to have strength until somebody turns that off, basically. So what I was saying is here we see the 2 different approaches for how to play the first 5 minutes. So Sam tends to not get any stones or very few stones in the first 5 minutes. Rubik's is taking after more of my approach, where you get more points in the first 5 minutes and go really aggressive, because again, the hunters don't have as many capabilities of tracking you down, so it's potentially easier to get more points in the first 5 minutes. But Peter Griffin's approach here is so right here he's getting a teleporting item which will teleport him back to this building when he drops it, no matter where he is. So his approach is to get more power up kind of items and not many stones in the first 5 minutes. So it's really just dependent on your play style, which one you want to do. You can always go for those power up or teleporting items later also. It just depends on kind of how you think about it. I like to just make sure that I have a nice base of points established before I get a lot of other stuff, just to make sure I've already contributed to the score. But you know, it just depends on what you want to do. So here's Vincent going for the horrible stone up here. He's going to be getting some nice points racked up. So a clarification. I wonder why he's waiting. That was odd. A clarification for how the scoring works here. So we see that there's stones on the right side of the screen, but I also have a scoreboard on the bottom, obviously.
25 minutes remaining.
And there we see the first 5 minutes have passed. So the way this works is they are collecting stones, which is demonstrated in the right scoreboard. The one at the bottom is showing which stones they have actually turned in. So the points won't officially count until they bring them back to the safe zone. But additionally, when the Seekers die the first time, you can see they have 2 lives. When they die the first time,
tyrant approaches.
They actually respawn in the safe zone directly, so you're basically guaranteed to be able to turn in the stones you collect during your first life. So Sam still has not gotten any stones yet, which I'm not really surprised to see, but he really should probably just try to get some, because I think you want to make sure you can just start collecting some points. It really is easier to get stones in the first 5 minutes, but now that that's passed, the hunters have more options of tracking down where the Seekers are. So it can be just easier to intercept Seekers or figure out where they're going to be going. It's harder to throw the hunters off guard when they have more options to track you down. I think Sam might be going to activate the temple here, which would be a good move. Since it just enabled, looks like none of the hunters are in a position to do that. He was okay. So Spiral was turning on the compasses here, which is important, but the temple is definitely more important, especially since Sam is now going to be getting daytime unlocked.
What the heck? Haha. Ah, do you get it? I can finally see.
So daytime is really important because we can see. How can I get to it quickly? I really can't. There's the color stones, which are a collection of 16 stones that are all very close together, and they're all easy to get. We just saw a very common and good play by Rubik's here, except I guess he just got turned around. What is he doing? Okay. I thought he was just going to be ender pearling from the lava fortress to get the blossom stone, but he did not do that for some reason. I can't really think of why you would ignore the blossom stone here, but it looks like he might be going for slippy stone. There's an iron sword in that chest. Just getting a quick melee upgrade. Yeah, I think he's going to get slippy stone, but I don't know why he didn't get blossom. Or he's not going to get slippy either. I have no idea what he's trying to do right now. No, never mind. He's getting slippy. Yeah, but I don't know why he ignored the blossom stone. Sam still hasn't gotten a stone, but it looks like he might be getting stingy. Yep, there he goes. So that'll be his first stone of the game, but he's going to need to catch back up here to make sure that he doesn't potentially get killed and knocked out of the game before he's collected many points. I don't know if the hunters are really anywhere close to them. Ben is coming into the lava fortress to turn off the fire resistance throne to make sure Vincent doesn't keep on to that, hold on to it the whole time. But at this point, it might have taken him to. I don't know what he's doing though. He's not going to the throne. I guess he's leaving. I'm not. Maybe he already turned the throne off. I wasn't watching him beforehand. That's costing him a lot of time, and they're not really... Okay, never mind. So Rigdon is getting close to Sam here. Holy Salmon's been returned. That's part of the Holy Alright, so Sam's going up on the snake. Let's see how Rigdon decides to play this. So he's making the correct decision. You should not chase the Seeker up there if you're not right behind them. because then you might just be able to, you might just flush them out and they'll strand you up on the snake. So Sam is going to be getting the feather falling shoes up on the top of the volcano, and then it looks like he's running down the other side. Rigdon slash Spiral can probably still see his name tag. Looks like it. So, Sam decided not to go to the seasons to Ender Pearl off the top of the snake. That's either because he would be too vulnerable in the seasons, or he didn't actually have an Ender Pearl available. I'm not sure if he's used his starter Ender Pearl yet. I know Vincent has used his. He's getting stuff in his house right now because it's just what he does. And note that they have not turned in any of their stones yet, but it doesn't necessarily matter because once one of them dies, they'll be able to turn in the stones they collected. Okay, so Ben is in the wheat fields. I'm trying to see if we've
20 minutes remaining.
got any potential chases happening here. Oh, okay, so Ben is, the wheat fields are right over there. Ben is headed towards Vincent. He's gonna be on him pretty soon here. It's Ben over here. Oh, okay, he's closer than I thought. Alright, so we're going to potentially be getting a chase here. The hunters, now that 20 minutes just went off, it's been 5 minutes, so the temple has a 5-minute recharge before it can be activated again. So since it's daytime, the hunters are definitely going to be wanting to turn nighttime because we don't want, the hunters don't want the match to be stuck at daytime for too long because the seekers can get color stones, which are all very close together and easy to get, so you can potentially inflate your score quite a bit. However, they haven't gotten any color stones yet, so if the hunters are able to activate nighttime, then that would be really good damage control. Looks like we do have this chase that I figured was getting set up. We've got Vincent running from Ben. So we'll see if Ben can pull out the kill. He's gonna get that shot off. That doesn't necessarily, well, no, it does matter because Vincent, when he regenerates those hearts, he's gonna actually use hunger faster. Oh, he got the kill. I'm not sure how he did enough damage with those 2 shots, but that was a nice kill. So we're gonna see Vincent turning in his 7 stones. This is Team Larry scoring. All right. So Ben's feeling high and mighty. Sam's getting the classic bomb stone, of course. That brings his total to 3 collected. Looks like he's going to be going for the Colt stone next, which is a good pairing. Might run past it, though, because it would be too predictable, potentially. But, no, he's deciding to just go for it. That's good. Now, I don't recall if Castle Zack has been gotten at all. But he might. Let's see if he's going to Mushroom City, actually. So, okay, so he is. I'm not sure if he has an expert key or not. He might have gotten an expert key, in which case he can unlock a pathway to teleport to underground Mushroom City, which is underneath Castle Jimmy, like that tower in the distance. That's way over there. It's underground under that castle. So that's a nice route to get because you can just get far away from where you currently are pretty quickly. We'll return to Sam. Let's see how the hunters are doing. So we're getting nighttime. That's what I was saying. They definitely wanted to do that. Rigdon is camping. This is one of the 3 options you have to teleport from spawn. But Vincent used one of the other ones.
Now the Seekers are really in for it.
So nighttime just activated. Vincent used one of the other buttons that wasn't being camped. But he didn't know that it was being camped. He just kind of had a lucky pick, I think. But usually you don't use the Stomping Grounds button, which was the one that was being camped. We just saw the Stupid Stone. That's the one up here. Usually the Stomping Grounds button is not used until the season powers are unlocked because it gives you a really quick way to get to those season powers and activate them. Alright, we're getting a lot of stones going off. So here's the thing. So because Vincent has 1 life left, this would be a really good time for the hunters to try to team up on him and make sure he gets killed. Because once you have 1 seeker left, that seeker does not have many options of how they can keep surviving the whole time. And Sam has fewer stones than Vincent, so it would be very helpful for the hunters to focus Vincent and get him killed Ben is on, or no, this is Rigdon. Uh, Vincent is really low right now because he just activated the nuclear meltdown. So he has poison at the moment. Rigdon should really just try to shoot him again if he gets a straightaway. He's not quite.
Wow, they are looking snazzy.
That's another throne. That's for regen. Yeah, Rigdon's not really getting a good angle here to shoot, unfortunately for him. Vincent's probably gotten most of his health back by now, I would think. He might get this shot. Nope. So we'll see how this chase evolves. Let's see what... Okay, so it looks like Sam enderpearled, I think, from Mushroom City. I wasn't watching him when that happened. That's what I assume he did. And then he has feather falling boots, so he could jump off of the balcony there pretty easily. Let's see what's going on with the hunters. Oh, Ben is coming towards Castle Zack. Let's see how this chase is going. Okay, Rigdon's still a good 40 blocks behind or so, 40, 50 blocks.
15 minutes remaining.
And that's the 15 minutes I was talking about with the season powers, and we'll see if they turn in that cursed tablet. They got the Zack tablet, which most notably there's 6 locations that look like this. This was good timing. 6 locations that look like this, and there is a structure that gets spawned in all 6 of those spots. In the case of the Zack tablet, which is 1 out of the 4 that you can choose, there are tiny little watchtowers that spawn in, and they act the same as radar towers, except they have a smaller radius, so they're more precise, and they scan more often, and they tell you which player was spotted. So they have a little more advantages than... Okay, so Sam and Vincent have ended up in a very similar spot here. We'll see. Ben was about to be chasing. Yep, Ben is pretty close behind. So we've got like a double chase happening in a way. So Rigdon seems to be kind of running the wrong direction. He's gonna he's running to the ziggurat to turn in that cursed tablet. Yep. So we'll see that happening. The problem with the cursed tablets is you kind of just have to bite the bullet and take yourself out of the game, so to speak, to turn it in, because you have to run all the way over there. So he's just decided to go ahead and do that and give up on the chase, which I can't speak to how good of a decision that is at this time. I think it probably would have been better to just keep chasing Vincent, especially since he's going up to the seasons where he would, if a hunter is down here, he would kind of get besieged up here in a way, because the hunters just don't follow you up. And while that does give you some opportunity to take some of the loot up here, you are trapped. You eventually have to come down. So I think and especially since he only has 1 life left, I think it would have been a better idea for Rigdon to just hold off on turning in that tablet, potentially not turning it in the whole game, to try to get a kill on Vincent, get him out. 1 life left, you've got to
say hi to the short people for me.
And Sam just used a teleporting item that we saw him get at the beginning. It teleported him back here. I don't know exactly where he was at the time. I forgot where he was the last time I looked at him. So Vincent's getting some stuff. Rigdon has made it to the ziggurat to turn in the tablet. That is the room he wants to be in. This is the room he wants to be in. He got the Zack tablet. I don't think he realizes. Okay, he figured it out.
May Ermin have mercy on the Seeker's souls.
So now we're going to see some of these watchtowers. There's one in Dwarven City right here next to Sam. So here's what they look like. So this just now got spawned in. It will possibly detect Sam. It depends on where he goes from the dirt stone here. Okay, he's not going towards that, but he will get detected by the beta tower most likely. And the temple just also reset. It doesn't look like the Seekers are going to be in a position to get that activated. So let's see what Ben is doing. Ben is just at spawn at the moment.
How refreshing.
Okay, so it looks like he's going to be running to the seasons to take care of Vincent. He also wants to make sure, and I'm surprised he didn't do this actually, that Vincent doesn't get a season power. So the season powers are in these towers underneath the platforms. Now that I think about it, I'm really surprised that Vincent did not activate one of them while he was in a position to do so. Oh, he's doing it right now. Never mind. Okay, we just got the Dwarven Tower spot.
Time to put a spring in your step. Ha ha.
Okay, so the spring power, there's supposed to be a title message that pops up. We have that fixed, just not in this backup. The spring power fully regenerates the Seeker's health every 15 seconds, and Vincent really likes to fight the hunters because you get a point if you kill the hunters. So the spring power especially is very good for combat. Looks like Sam is. I heard an arrow. Was that Ben shooting? Yep. Okay. So here we've got a showdown. Now Ben has got to be really careful here because even without it being Vincent, who is notorious for leading hunters up to high places and knocking them off, even if it wasn't Vincent, I would still be careful because this is a very easy spot to knock the hunters off. It looks like he's gonna be setting up for that. So Ben needs to be pretty careful here. So we're gonna definitely see how this develops. I don't know if I've missed something. Yeah, they still only turned in those first 7. They're both gonna enjoy watching this after the fact. Vincent is on a different path than Ben, so they can't.
10 minutes remaining.
Oh, we're starting to run out of time here. They've only collected 16 stones. Now, I say only. That's a perfectly fine score. It's not necessarily that high. So this starts to get into where I was talking about how Sam probably could have gotten more stones in the first 5 minutes, and that's starting to matter now. Now, he has used some of his teleporting items probably to his advantage. He might have used them to escape. I'm not really sure. But here we see they have 16 stones with 10 minutes remaining. It could be pretty challenging, especially as the hunters start getting their better items in their class. It could be pretty challenging to get those last points. Ben is trying a little strategy here for those arrows to... Okay, this is getting a little boring, I'm not going to lie. But let's see. So Sam's getting that stone. Yeah, he's probably trying to accelerate his points a little bit. Rigdon is coming up. Sam is way up there. Rigdon might be expecting him to fly this direction. So you get a slow falling potion, and you can float down from the top of that. Okay, he's going that way. Let me go back to the fight here. Yep, it's a good thing I left at the time. All right, they're on the same. Let's see what happens. Oh, see, that's what I was talking about. But Ben got pretty lucky. Ben got very lucky, actually. I don't know why Ben is still trying to at this point, I think you just have to let him be stuck up here because Vincent can't do anything. He can't get any points up here. And at this point, the clock is definitely against the Seekers. So, well, there's also that. I gotta say, I gotta give it to Ben. That was a great play, and that was a fantastic shot. Congratulations to Ben. So, Vincent, I believe, only had 1 stone that he didn't turn in. He turned in 7 the first time, and then he collected 1 more. So now his 1 extra stone is being kept in the safe zone. However, it's not turned in yet. So if Sam makes it back, which he definitely will, whether he dies or he runs back, he will be able to turn in all the points. So they'll then have 18, which is a pretty decent score. So if he focuses... Oh, he actually might turn the compass off. Which, yeah, he's definitely going to do that. So if you turn the compass off when there's only 1 Seeker left alive, which is the case right now, then it actually stays off for the rest of the round. So it makes it a lot harder sometimes for the hunters to figure out where this last Seeker might be. Looks like Rigdon showed up right at the end. Let's see if he's able to kill Sam. That would help. Yeah, that was good. He can jump down and go into this hunter tunnel. I assume he'll do that. Yep, there he goes. That was a good kill. That was a good kill. I don't think the hunters lost any advantage there because of that. He didn't strand him in a bad spot or anything. I'm not entirely sure why Sam didn't just kind of loop around this way and try to get into the safe zone. But so here's the situation. Team Larry now should have 18 points. And Sam has 1 life left, and he's the only Seeker. Even with the compasses turned off, this is a pretty difficult situation. He's in the season or the sewer right now. Now that's interesting that the abomination tower right here detected him, but that's actually not necessarily all that helpful at the moment because, well, they can see. Okay, so they can see his name tag too. So he might get the Sorcerer's Stone here and then turn back around, or he just turns back around before doing that. So yeah, Sam's gonna be in a tough spot, and in a couple of minutes here or so, we're gonna be getting 5 minutes remaining. So he's not gonna have a lot of time to do stuff. And 5 minutes remaining, the hunters are gonna be getting their final upgrade as well. I don't remember what classes they picked. So Spiral has Huntsman, and Bacon has Marksman. So Ben is getting Bacon is getting really good bow and arrow upgrades. That's part of the reason. Oh, he probably had his first upgrade when he got that first kill because I didn't know how he did so much damage. That's definitely why. Um, and we're gonna see the Huntsman gets an item where you can give Seekers 10 seconds of poison. So we'll see that probably come in handy, I would imagine. Let's see what Sam is trying to do. Oh, so as it happens, the Huntsman class also gives you a better bow. So we might see that come in handy. Sam is pretty well equipped on gear here, but he's definitely not in a position to fight the hunters, mainly because they have the Zac tablet, which actually gives them double their health. So they have
5 minutes remaining.
Yep, there we get the last upgrade. So he just got his spores, and he also has really good speed boosts, which we can see he's definitely catching up to Sam here, and he can even beat him to the top of the temple most likely. He's probably gonna get the kill. Yeah, he's definitely gonna. Or oh no. Okay, Rigdon messed up here. He should have just run past Sam first.
Now I can finally see.
Well, what's kind of interesting here is the Thorns is kind of saving Sam's life. I think it's unlikely that he survives this, but the Thorns is definitely keeping him alive longer because no, Sam's definitely gonna die. You can tell he's desperate because he's fighting back. All right. So, like I said, I figured that 18 was going to be the final score for the Larry team there. 18 is not bad at all, but I personally think they probably could have gotten more points if Sam and Vincent had focused a little bit more stones in the first 5 minutes when it was easier to collect them. Because as you can see, I don't care. As you can see, Sam was put eventually into a very hard position, being the only Seeker remaining. So, in my opinion, I think that, and granted, I did not get to see Sam use those teleporting items some of the time, so he might have been getting chased. He might have just used them for routing purposes. I'm gonna ignore the discussion because I like what I've done. Okay. You don't have to see us debate. What was I saying? I personally think, and despite the fact I didn't get to see what situation Sam used those teleporting items, I personally think that was an example of it being kind of a mistake to not capitalize on more points in the first 5 minutes. So let's say that, Sam, even if he got 2 more stones, which, like, getting 2 stones, not a huge deal. If he got 2 more stones in the first 5 minutes, brings their score to 20. 20 is started. The higher score you get, the more exponentially better it is every additional point you have. So once you crack 20, you're looking at a very winnable game. Under 20, really, no matter what the score is, it's a lot less winnable, I think. So, because 10 stones per Seeker on average is pretty hard to beat. Not that 18 is a bad score. I don't want to misrepresent this. It was a very good round by the Seekers. But I think it was a slight fumble to not collect more stones in the first 5 minutes. All right, well, we're resetting for round 2. Hope you guys watched that video also.